feeling myself that day. Hi Harper's Bazaar, I'm Jenny and we're gonna be looking back at some of my fashion moments. This is Fashion Flashback. I'm like looking back at myself, like judging me. This is fun. This was our very first debut stage as Blackpink for Boombaya. For this stage, we were playing around with the idea of having a uniform but make it fashion. I used to talk to my stylist a lot regarding what's more of Jenny. To make anything special, I've always had interest in fashion since I was a kid, so it was just natural for me to like give any feedbacks or ideas that I had back to the stylist. We just destroyed this vintage t-shirt that we owned and just made it into a thing. I would say it's like a punk, uniformy type of Blackpink vibes. Would I wear this today? Probably not. But I think it's a very iconic look of Blackpink. All of us really loved what we were wearing back then and we just really enjoyed it. So this was in 2018 at a Chanel event in Seoul. I really love this look. It does. Okay, I learned this word. I'm gonna say it. Nautical look. I would say like a marine sailor inspired look. I do remember we made the skirt very short into a mini skirt, which was a big step for us. We had to do a lot of fittings and change the fit a lot, but I think overall it came out very lovely with the red lipstick. It's definitely one of my favorite looks. Being a part of the Chanel family was a dream come true moment for me. I've just grew up loving all the items I would steal from my mom's closet and just watching the shows. It was a dream to wear one day as a little girl. I'm so shy. I get really shy talking about this. So honored, you know. There's not words to describe how I felt back then. Thank you guys. Wow, you guys are really taking me back. This look, I remember specifically, was for a stage for Solo. This is a Erdem dress that we made it into our own. I just love this look. This really, to me, is like what Solo represents. We styled it with jeweled hair clips on the side. I definitely remember cutting that dress really short. And then we did the one-sided off-shoulder look. It had a lot to do with the choreography, so we kind of wanted to make that side a little bit revealing. I wore this again in our world tour in 2019. I just wanted to wear this dress one more time. I just had to give a live moment for the dress with the fans. So this is definitely one of my favorite moments in my life. In my life, I said. This was a custom-made look for our 2019 Coachella stage. There's two looks. We didn't have enough time to get changed in the backstage, so I decided to throw on this see-through, flowy dress on top so I could just rip it open to go back and do the Blackpink thing. Because we have a lot of choreography happening in every song, we do want the ability to move around, but also look cute. So that's the challenge every time, I think, for us to make both happen at the same time. Interacting with the fans and just the energy that I got from the crowd that day, that's when I realized, wow, there's a lot of people who, across the world, who probably don't speak my language, listens to our song and really enjoys, you know, us. I think it's like a perfect Coachella moment. This lovesick girl look was 100% just made from nothing. We customized this from like head to toe. We made the skirt into a top, and then we created a top out of a scarf, and then sewed the cardigan on top because we thought like the shoulders were showing too much, and then we had to find the matching color. Like the shoulders were showing too much, and then sewed the cardigan on top because we thought like the shoulders were of a scarf, and then sewed the cardigan on top because we thought like the shoulders were showing too much, and then we had to find the matching color pants with the skirt. A lot happens shooting videos for us. Like we do thousands of fittings and we create something out of nothing always, but for the best, and we all enjoy it. This was Blackpink attending VMAs for the first time. We did the carpet and we performed Pink Venom. We were just so excited to be there. We all were wearing different brands that day at the carpet. Obviously, I'm wearing a beautiful Chanel piece there. I loved my hair and makeup that day. I just have to say it out there. But me and Rosie were, I think, talking about how unreal it is for us to like be a part of this, not the ones that are watching. I mean, it was just a really proud day for Blackpink. It was the first time performing Pink Venom on a big stage. Lisa also got an award that day. We were so happy to be there for her, and a day of celebration. I love this photo of us. We look pretty.
30 seconds left.
Oh. I love this. This is something that I have an actual current memory of in my brain. So this look was the Idol red carpet look at the Cannes Film Festival. This was definitely my princess moment that I've been dreaming of. This was a couture dress from Chanel, and I remember we pulled down the black sleeves that were supposed to go around either like the hair or covering the whole shoulders. We just pulled it down to make it a little bit more feminine and just princessy. This moment is so special for me. Carpet and just being there with the whole crew. I've known Abel before we started, so he's just great to be around with. Lily's just so fun. Troy's so fun. Rachel's so fun. Yeah, I had a great time. So that scene in the backyard, the choreography scene, I learned that without a mirror. I did that in like an hour, 2 hours, less than that. So I'm very proud to get that done in the spot. This was the Met 2024. I'm wearing a custom Elia look. It's in this beautiful cobalt blue color. It reminds me of the ocean. We added a bit of the pearl chain around the waist to keep it classic. The earrings were matching the belly chains that I was wearing. To make the heels in the right color was definitely a challenge for us because we wanted to get it right. We had so many options, but I'm so happy that we went with the blue. I felt amazing that day. I was really feeling myself that day. This one brings back a lot of memories. This was in Capri. I walked for Jacquemus' 15 years anniversary show. First of all, this dress was everything. It was so perfectly fitted for my body and so gorgeous. Just when I first saw it, I fell in love. When I put it on, I fell in love even more. We added a little bit of retouch with the color of the bag and the shoes. And Simon is just the best to work with. He made sure that everything felt right and everything felt me. When I look back at this photo or any of the videos, I'm like, how did I do it? For a petite girl to walk a show means a lot, really. Like, thank you, Simon, once again. I love you for making this dream come true for me, and I'll never forget it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my Harper's Bazaar cover. Love you guys.
Someone say.
Healing. They stumble. Now is our chance to drop.
I'm scared to drive this thing, dude. Find me a good deal on a CGT right now.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna drive one of my most incredible cars I used to have in my fleet. I used to have 2 yellow Carrera GTs, one of my big regrets when it comes to selling cars. I should have kept them, but Josh over here at Bowden was generous enough to let me drive his, so super excited. And this one comes with the front left. Let's go see what Josh is all about at Bowden. How you doing? Nice to meet you again. We've met a few times before. Yeah. Well, thanks for having us over. You know what brought me here, right? No. I was told you're gonna let me drive your Carrera GT. Yeah, we told you that. Let's see what you got. Hey, I'm just here for a joyride. Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot about you. I've seen your sign on a lot of F-150 trucks and other cars, and
A lot of trucks, yeah.
I don't see any trucks. I see a lot of hyper cars though. Look at this, small Ferrari. Wow.
Good wheels, we're putting exhaust on it. Do all the fabrication here in house.
Yeah.
That's kind of what our specialty is, exhaust systems.
And there's a baby right there.
Man, when was the last time you seen a CGT?
Was it a Damon? Yeah. Wow. This one looks sweet. This one's got all custom wheels, obviously a custom paint.
21, 20-inch wheels, so 1 inch larger than factory. They're HRE wheels. They're like the old Porsche twist wheels, remember, like the 993 turbos?
Yeah.
So it's kind of based off of that to give the look.
Yeah, it looks classic.
Yeah, we changed the suspension too from the standard coilover to a KW coilover. A lot more adjustability with rebound and compression, and it has a factory lift now too. So when you press the button,
That's definitely necessary on this car.
yeah, it's off.
I scrape my front all the time. I mean, the car is normally set so low, and this is even lower.
And see right here, this is a stock one. That it's getting wheels, it's getting suspension and exhaust. So you can see the difference in the wheel gap.
Yeah.
Way more clearance there, but obviously with this is undrivable unless you have a lift.
Absolutely.
So
And you're saying this is a 4-corner lift?
yeah, 4 corner, all 4 corners.
You still have a pretty good clearance, but you see this rubber led. I've replaced this
Me too.
several times on my old CGTs, but
Yeah.
the car is very low.
Very
It
low.
doesn't look too low from here, but it's low. Yeah.
So Boden is German for ground, so we like our cars like really low, but we also like to be able to drive them. So that's why we put lift on cars, or if you airlift, like we'll be able to raise it up so it can get around corners and speed bumps, whatever it needs to. So
Very cool. So what all do you fabricate in-house? Because, you know, is it custom
exhaust,
wings?
all exhaust. Yeah. So titanium exhaust.
Okay.
We have it on this, so you'll hear it compared to what you've heard before.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, this car is known for its exhaust.
Come on, let's go!
Oh,
You change it so it looks better. Oh,
and it's
Player standing.
it's there still has a cast, but there's no muffler, and
enemy
there's an
remaining.
X pipe. It's about 8 pounds compared to the 90 something pounds, so it's a huge weight saving.
oh wow.
So you'll feel the rear end will be a lot lighter, so just be careful.
Okay. Thanks for the, you know, just tell me it's got new shoes on because.
It's got fresh rubbers, yeah.
Okay, good, good.
6 months with these, so you're fine.
All right. Oh,
Other
I
than
don't,
that, yeah,
I don't dare to take it out of here.
I'll take it out the drive. No problem. We'll let it warm up. It'll be
Oh my God. And now, do you do any engine upgrade?
I mean, we do, you know, tuning, we do exhaust,
Yeah.
we're doing an upgraded supercharger on that truck, and we're talking about F-150s, but
Yeah.
that Raptor R is going from 700 horsepower to 950.
Damn.
So we do kind of everything you can think of, like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
You know, we'll source a car for someone, we'll maintain it, we'll store it, we'll service it, modify it, and then if they want us to sell it, we'll sell it for them as well.
That's awesome. Okay, that'd be cool.
Man, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, I have a little rattling going on in my P1's
Okay.
exhaust, so Josh may be able to fix it. You know, patch it up.
So
you
you
know?
have
Meet Matterport.
Reloading. Headshot. My ultimate is ready.
Watch your eyes!
Healing.
Wingman's gonna plant
Careful
spike.
now.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
The market-leading 3D platform that lets anyone turn a physical space
rattle. So you have rattling. The
I'm
solution
not
is add more horsepower.
Are you?
Yeah.
Got
We'll
it.
fix the rattle, and maybe it'll add a little bit more juice.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll put his magic exhaust in there.
I'll show you a
Alright.
couple more things if
Yeah.
you want. So, LaFerrari Coupe,
Yep.
we're doing wheels, custom exhaust. We did some PPF on it, lowering it a little bit on the factory coils, and then this thing's pretty wild. Dorado, this is factory paint. So this is an option from Lamborghini. It's a very special color. I think it costs around 70 grand for the option.
Wow.
Also,
Reminds me of my P1. You know, my P1 had chameleon
Yeah,
color, which
that
was
kind
very
of-
Oh, that one body. Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't look this good, so I had to change it. But this is pretty cool.
wild.
So how many horses on this?
It's like a regular Huracan, I think 600 and something.
Oh,
But it's just a cool paint job. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of
Message
interesting
sent.
putting this crazy of a paint job on an off-road Lambo, but
yeah, very cool.
I think it's cool. A12 Competition, really cool car. We did wheels, doing exhaust, window tint, little things like that. And then there's a bunch more over here. It's more where we had the bigger project. I'll leave it
Yeah.
over.
Ooh, that's Revolto.
Just finished this, so we got wheels, suspension, we're doing exhaust later on.
I like it.
But really like a Batmobile kind of
Murdered
look.
out.
Yeah, murdered
Oh
out.
my god.
I ordered mine in white. I'm having second thoughts now.
Everyone's doing black. Why to look at? That's a 2,000 horsepower STO twin turbo. Thing is terrifying to drive. Absolutely
Wow.
terrifying.
Is that a 2002?
Yeah, 2002.
Get out.
So we dry blasted the whole undercarriage. It's painted a Rolls Royce color, like
Wow.
that green emerald Rolls Royce
Yeah.
paint job. So it's gonna be a long project.
Dude, that car's OG, man.
OG.
2002.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah, very OG. And
You
then-
must be Persian.
Sometimes.
Just kidding.
Monday through Friday, I'm not. On the weekends,
And what are you doing to this Phantom?
wheels and
Uh-huh.
so just make it look a little bit better than stock.
Cool. Let me ask you, what wheels do you recommend for my Bugatti Vitesse? Because it still has original tires on it from 2014, and I don't drive the car because there's no grip.
Yeah,
And I don't want to pay 40 grand for new
Crazy,
tires.
yeah. You can go up. We've done it before. You go
Yeah.
up one size larger.
Yeah.
And you can get regular tires for it.
Yeah.
So we've done it with HRE.
But what do they top out on a speed on the
The tire.
Michelin?
I don't know exactly on that tire. But you're not gonna
Probably
go,
no.
Yeah, you're
Probably 230.
I know. I was like,
Probably 230.
I have
yeah,
your back.
you'll keep it under 200.
Yeah, I just meant what type of a style of wheels goes nicely
can-
if you're done with.
We did one that was like a mesh style. That's kind of like this.
Because I've been thinking, do I want to spend 40 grand on tires
Or you can spend 10 and get away
get-
with something way cooler.
and drive the car?
Yeah.
And yeah, this is
Have to
cool.
glue the tire on like they do with the factory.
Yeah.
So we can render some stuff up and send you options and figure out kind of what you want.
Yeah, cool. The only problem with my car is, it's the Rembrandt one. It's got painted, matching painted. You're gonna? Yeah. Wait, cool.
Anything is possible.
there you go.
See? Yeah.
So
Very
I'll
cool.
take the tender off
Sure.
and I'll get it warmed up. I'll bring it out of the driveway for you.
Got it.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
My God, this exhaust is so much louder.
This is by far the best Porsche I ever made. They built it to race in Le Mans. What do you expect? They put their best engineers at the time. It's not every day you drive a tuned up CGT. You ready?
Yeah.
Now, you know what's the secret to this car? You gotta make sure you're not in reverse. Because reverse is right there.
Skip the video while my family suffers every.
Train hard. Bring them down.
Back.
Second, they need your support. I swear you can't hit.
Them down.
Last player standing.
What? Nate, find me a good deal on a CGT right now.
What am I doing?
You forgot, huh?
Well, you forget.
Yeah.
If you don't drive, you forget. But
I would think
well,
about
this one definitely is much more satisfying to drive because of the custom exhaust. And of course, no, this is a car you have to have full attention when you drive it. Bring back a lot of memories.
Did you have more memories in the first CGT or the second
I will
CGT you owned?
hold up
No,
the sky.
first.
First one? Why is
yeah.
that?
Well, you know, when you first get it, it's the honeymoon season. You drive it a lot more. Went to a lot of events. I actually had a CGT drive. I think I had 14.
14?
Or 14 or 17 CGTs show up.
Wow.
We all went to Ritz-Carlton or St. Regis actually in Dana Point. Had lunch and then we all drove back on 405. Coming back on the freeway. It was very memorable.
Dude, this thing's too loud. You're gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna have you drive. I'm scared to drive this thing, dude.
Did it sound scared?
Oh, the sound of the exhaust.
Spike down mid.
You will not kill my duty is not over.
Dude, never sell this car.
I can't.
Oh!
with the best Porsche, if not the best car ever.
It's my favorite thing. The second I drove it, the first time we did it, I fell in love.
Yeah.
There's the shifting points, the rawness, the sound, the feel. There's no other car that compares. I've heard the
it's
F50.
so light.
You had an F50 ever? Or
No. I had an F40.
Yeah, I've heard the F50 is... It happens. Yeah.
Dude, the F40.
30 seconds left.
Kicked in. I was making a turn.
And the brakes don't work.
No. That's what happened. Yeah. I couldn't brake, so I put in second gear. Gearbox lock. I spun out at 60 miles an hour. Hit a tree.
How long ago was that?
One enemy remaining.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I paid $320 for it, but I had 3,000 miles on it. US version.
Oh my God.
That car's worth now $4 million.
Jeez.
Yeah. No. What the fuck is that? Like I saw that bottom out here. You're gonna
Last player standing.
Oh my God! Man, you're a madman. That should be the name of your company. What do you call it? Boat? It should be madman.
Drive it like...
No, don't do it. But a lot of people get hurt in this car. My wife will never let me shoot another video. She says this.
We'll put it in chill mode. So I'll bring her some Kubi that she'll be like...
What would you say is the scariest car you've driven?
Scariest
Whether
car?
yours or a customer's.
2,000 horsepower Aventador SVJ.
Oof.
I have a video I'll show you of my mom.
Yeah.
She's like, the one time I took her out, I was like, I'm gonna take it my birthday present, just come out for a ride. So we go for a drive.
Yeah.
Cruising for like 10-20 minutes, and then I hit it once, and you can see her body just like dissipate. It's the funniest car I've seen in my life, I'll tell you. But that's the scariest car I've ever driven, for sure.
Holy. No, but seriously, thank you. This was a nice Dude, this guy is nuts. But I gotta hand it to him. He's got skills.
I'll just look. Good to
Thank
see
you. Likewise. Next time I'll bring you over some Kubi Day. but no, I had fun. We'll definitely have a conversation about the P1 exhaust because it's rattling and it's time for me to put it. Yeah. So maybe I'll bring it by one day and you take a look and see what we're gonna do with it.
For sure. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Of course. Bye bye. All right.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Bring them down.
No.
I'm scared to drive this thing, dude.
I need a drop.
Can someone buy me, please?
Today I'm reacting to Dr. Mike's watch collection. And let me tell you, there's some belters in there. This is gonna be fireworks. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel now. And if you wanna buy or sell your watch, brideandpinion.com. Right now, no discussion. After the last video we posted about TikTokers, every one of yous commented Dr. Mike. You ask, I deliver. That's how this relationship works.
This color blue has a little bit of meaning to me as well. My mom had very striking blue eyes. And I knew my dad was going to be in a dark place, and we always talked about getting a dog.
That 14-second piece went left, right, left, dog. It's a wee bit of a emotional roller coaster of those 14 seconds.
And I said, I think now's the moment. I want to surprise my father with the dog. I got a Siberian Husky with the exact same color.
Beautiful dog. I love dogs. Dogs are better than humans. Every year I try to donate a lot of money, food, and all sorts of things to several dog sanctuaries across Northern Ireland. You know that when you watch our live streams. I haven't done a live stream in a long time. Maybe we need to get back to that.
The Siberian Husky became a part of our family. Yeah. And we felt like a part of my mom's spirit was within her.
I love stories, watches and stories. Watches carry stories. The reason why we wear watches is, of course, completely different with every single person. Although I'm very fortunate to still have both my parents, although they're both not very well, unfortunately. Whenever one of my parents passes away, I will inherit a watch. And that watch will carry the story of my father. In this case, he attaches a story to a watch that related to his mother. I like that. I think that is amazing. And I think there's not many objects in the world where you can create that emotional connection. I love stories, I love watches, I love dogs.
That's amazing for all the videos that you've made.
Yeah.
We've seen the watches on your wrist, but you've never spoken about them.
Exactly. So they've been there, they're part of the background, but now it's time to hear the background story.
For those in our audience who...
You see that Defy Extreme, that black thing? I have a story about that watch, and let me tell you, let me show you, by the way. That watch helped me kickstart Pride and Pinion. Yeah, genuinely. A good friend of mine had that watch. I don't know what he paid for it, like insane money. And I was like, why the hell did you buy that? This watch, as ugly as it is, because, let me be very clear, looks horrendous. There's several variations of that watch, by the way. They're made in titanium, but that watch helped me kickstart Pride and Pinion. That's one of the first watches I got in stock. It took me about 2 years to sell it. One of those stars, you see the stars on the bezel, actually fell off. And Zenith quoted me, I think it was £2,500 to replace one of those stars, and they weren't made of precious metal. It was an absolute disgrace. The reason why, and I actually have a photo, is because they didn't have those bezels in production anymore, so I had to make one specifically. So if we go back to the history, this is 2018, and I started the business in 2017. Here you see the star missing. This is from a Zenith era when Cherry Nataf was the CEO, a very flamboyant character, an absolute character for sure. He made some questionable choices. As well as that, you see the Zenith El Primero on the left. Now, I sold that watch too, and I have a photo of that as well. So this is quite cool. And on the right, you see a copy of a Rolex Daytona. But let me explain, right? There's only one brand that is allowed to copy that watch, and that's Zenith, because there's a big history with Zenith, an interesting history which we never really discussed. Zenith with the El Primero is responsible for the first fully integrated chronograph ever created. Let me explain what that means. Normal chronographs back in the day were based on a module, time module, and a chronograph module is being built on that. That was a chronograph in pocket watches and in some older watches. Zenith was the first one ever to build a fully in-house integrated chronograph that was built as a chronograph, and that is called the El Primero. Zenith was arguably the first, right? Some people say Breitling, some people say Heuer. I know that Breitling worked together with Zenith back in the day. As well as that, Zenith fought a lot of adversity, because in the early 70s, Zenith was gone. They were bankrupt. The owners of Zenith wanted to sell off the entire company, everything inside the company, including all the tools that made the El Primero. Because the El Primero was the first ever integrated chronograph, these tools were made, specifically made to produce that movement and that watch specifically. So the owners of Zenith said, sell everything. Charles Fremont, who ran Zenith, done something quite sneaky. He hid all the tooling and all the tools to make the El Primero. He hid that in the attic. That action of Charles Fremont hiding all those tools was the savior of the name Zenith and of course the El Primero. Zenith was revived in the 80s and of course became massively mainstream when they helped Rolex with the production of the Daytona in 1986. Before we get into the next one, new drop IFL watches. Time is Money. Incredibly hand-painted citizen called Time is Money and some Japanese name which I cannot pronounce. Can you put it on the screen now? Sayosa. Full automatic Japanese movement. A fully hand-painted dial. An absolute belter. And of course, because they're completely hand-painted, every single watch is kind of unique. The new drop by IFL is limited to 150 pieces. And if you've seen other drops, they often sell out. So do make sure you don't miss out if you want something cool and unique and something to talk about. Because people will talk about this. First link in the description, and thank you so much IFL for supporting me and the channel once again. I also manage one of the biggest medical platforms in the world these days. Kind of surreal to say, but across social media, we have almost 25 million subscribers. What an incredible guy and what an incredible achievement. I know how hard it is to be in front of the camera. I know how hard it is to make a name for yourself in any industry. But the medical industry must be extremely, ridiculously complicated. But what an achievement. And it started off with my father buying me a high school present of a Seiko kinetic watch. I think I remember the model. It was a Seiko Arctura.
Okay.
So like this is like older.
That's cool. Then you're fucking 16 years old, baller with a watch. I love that. He had a Zenith watch that's actually here today, the El Primero. And I would always take this from him to wear out with my friend. That open heart where you can see that high beat frequency movement. You see the balance of it. This is always cool. I enjoy that.
So where does it go from the Zenith in your sort of collecting path?
My first probably high-end watch purchase was my stainless
Gobi,
steel
gobi, gobi,
Royal
gobi, gobi,
chronograph
gobi,
there.
gobi.
It was a
Reina,
boutique
gobi,
only
gobi, gobi, Reina.
26331 ST. Boutique only, I mean, this watch was only available directly at the AP boutique, so not from, for example, authorized dealers. After this era, AP closed down all the authorized dealers and supplied only their own boutiques with watches. I think the Giorgenta design of the Royal Oak is the most beautiful design ever created in a watch. I think this is the perfect watch with the perfect bracelet. The steel sports watch, introduced in 1972. This was in an era where the quartz crisis nearly destroyed 40% of the Swiss watchmakers, including Zenith. AP was the first one to really do it differently, and they brought out a steel sports watch which was more expensive than a gold watch that they normally produce. This one in particular is very special.
And that's not just talking about the Royal Oak, because as you can see, I'm also a Code 1159 fan here. I think this is a watch that looks very different in real life than it does in a photograph.
Code 1159, let me put it out there. The CEO of AP left there last year, but worked for AP for about 20 years. This is his brainchild, Code 1159. It was launched in 2019, and when it was launched, like every other watch, like an Aquanaut, or any other brand that introduced their watch, they get a lot of oh, it looks like a standard Seiko. Oh, it looks like this. Honestly, you can never do it right when you launch a watch. But it shows balls. It shows courage. It shows vision for the future. I would say that the Code 1159 is today very well received. I know a lot of people that own a Code 1159, and not because they had to go on the AP journey to buy a Royal Oak. No, they specifically went in to buy a Code 1159. I love it. I'm a big fan. It's one of the coolest watches out there. And to be completely honest, we don't really give the previous CEO the credits today. He brought AP to where it is today. He made AP mainstream. And while he was making AP mainstream, he brought the entire watch industry with him.
I also see another Zenith here, and it happens to have the high beat movement just like flying around the dial. How does the Zenith enter the collection?
I love Zenith. I think that their designs are just so clean. Also, the fact that it has the high beat movement, I mean, 1/100th of a second on a mechanical.
You can't measure 1/100th of a second with that movement, by the way. It's 1/10th of a second. 36,000 beats movement means it's a 5 hertz movement. It allows you to measure time more accurately. 1/10th of a second. And it was actually Francois Bonjour that brought one of his watches to 1/100th of a second. But the cool part of this watch, of course it resembles the Daytona, but there's only one brand, and I said this before and I will say this again, there's only one brand that is allowed to do that for me. And that's of course Zenith, with the history, how they helped the Rolex Daytona in 1986.
Yeah, I remember wearing this watch. And the reason I remember wearing...
You know what? It's a really nice watch. I like it. 5968A. Steel chronograph, orange hand, orange strap. On the secondary market, it goes for $150,000. Let me point this out. Do not buy that watch at $150,000. It's not worth $150,000. You can buy so many insane watches for that money. It's crazy. It's a lovely watch, but the strap doesn't make it valuable. A normal Aquanaut you will be able to buy from about $40,000 upwards. Say with a chronograph, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. Save yourself a good chunk of money and buy another watch with that.
The Patek watches, in that they probably wear the most comfortable out of all the watches.
It's a funny thing, right? When the Aquanaut was introduced in 1997, it wasn't well received because Patek Philippe is a very formal watch brand making highly complicated watches on leather straps. And one sports watch with a bracelet, in this case the 3700. How the hell are they making watches with rubber straps nowadays? It took about 20 years for this watch to properly find its place. And the same is of course with Code 1159. It becomes more popular, but it will take another 5 to 10 years to really become mainstream.
This is like when you know you're deep, for sure. This is like not just perpetual calendar, but it's like ceramic perpetual calendar.
26579, unbelievable watch that, lads. Doctors get seriously paid in America, lad. That's ridiculous.
What's the story behind it? You know, what memories are baked into it?
That's the 10 million watch.
Yeah.
That's the watch that...
Yeah, hell, 10 million subscribers buys that watch. Jesus, that's an achievement.
Back on YouTube.
Both, by the way, that watch ended in
I was at an event with Chris Hemsworth, and he was also weering an Audemars at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude. And I'm like,
yeah, well,
dude.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's funny, right? I recognize that a lot. Watches connects people, and it doesn't matter if you're bottom of the barrel, an idiot that wears a Rolex, and someone big time wears a Rolex as well. For some reason, us man are connected with our watches. Like, oh, you have a Daytona too, and that is a point to talk about. This is why a lot of people say you wear a nice watch in meetings or a nice watch in dinner. It is a point to talk about. That is something so underrated. It's incredible. Like if I see someone wearing a crazy watch, I want to speak with that person. I want to know the story of that watch. That's what I do very often.
Come to Times Square and I showed him where the ball dropped. Where we came in 1995 and we saw that ball drop because we came in December 1995 and then saw the ball drop. His son is on that building.
It's amazing.
But the surprise was an Uber.
Right.
We then took an Uber, he not knowing where he's going, to the Audemars store not too far away. And I surprised him with his very own Royal Oak chronograph.
Wow.
And very similar to mine here, but with a silver face.
Here, that's a bit tricky. I love that watch, right? He's wearing a fucking belter of a watch. He bought that at AP, right? This photo of this watch just gives me a lot of questions. That date wheel is wrong. If I look at this is supposed to be a 26240, right? Let me see a photo here. 26240, white dial. That 3 is not straight in the case. It doesn't matter which angle it is photographed. It's not in the middle. It's not filling the... there's something wrong there with that 3. Like, that's wrong. Next to that, that's a wrong type of 3 because they use a different font for that. But I'm just looking at this, right? I'm just gonna stand up. And the date wheel of AP is always pitch perfect. Always fills in exactly. So the date, I don't know what I'm doing here. The exact date, the number is always exactly filled in that square.
So it's not because it's just past 12, or it's just come down.
I like where you're going with that because you're saying maybe just past 12 because then this watch kind of needs a service. What you're saying is correct, right? But that wouldn't apply to this, and if I look at the number 3, it's completely different with that 3. Look at that. I'm not gonna say that this is a fake watch, but I'm gonna say if I saw this on a forum and someone asked me if this is real or fake, I would have said, yeah, this is fake. Look at the date. I don't know what this is. I would love to know, but I have my concerns about this. Let me tell you one thing. All the watches of Dr. Mike are legit. Where does he live? New York? Let's see if we can get him in front of the camera. I would love to learn more about this.
Oh my God.
Here's a normal one. Do you see what I see? Am I getting crazy? If it was any other person other than Dr. Mike, I would consider it fake, but I would highly doubt it is. So there's something here, and I would love to understand how, why, and what's going on.
He says their bullets tickle.
Today I'm reacting to Iman Ghazi's watch collection. Today.
Thank you. Need a drop. Can someone get this? Thank you.
Spike planted.
No charges left.
Enemy B.
Larry.
One enemy remaining.
I will not die here.
Going up. Careful now.
We cannot let them.
Reloading.
If you must fall, then fall near me.
Anyone feeling generous? Anyone feeling generous?
kill my allies.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading. They have no right to do this.
Buy stuff, ka-ching, little skrrr, then we're done. Yeah?
Left.
Jet ground.
Show off.
Damon?
Martin?
What are you doing here? Hello, Leah. Right, you two, get off my track.
Well, it's because they're cutting corners and they're not properly making the games. I feel like that's just the logical conclusion that any normal person could draw. That's what I think. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, Yasuke is a genius, guys. This dude is so smart. What does it say?
Planted.
Yuki
Of course,
bravery.
Ruby would choose a
Ooh.
word like brave for him to write incorrectly.
Hey, at least it wasn't something like a potato.
He's so brave, guys. So brave, so smart,
Yeah.
so black. Don't, we didn't say that. No, he's the legendary
I am justice. Somebody who always has a commanding presence.
So especially in combat, when we think about Yasuke, it's really about dictating how the fight will go. And to do so, create evidence.
I do want to just take note that every single developer and every person who's discussing this is a white person. Listen, as a white person, I'm sorry. I don't know why we keep doing this. I've been trying to get us to stop. You know, we have our annual white person meetings. I've been pushing for this, but they just won't listen. Okay? I've really been trying to get us to stop this shit. I'm sorry. I don't like it any more than you do. These didn't exist? Wait, what didn't exist?
The little bamboo stick?
Wait, what? It's regular bamboo.
The little bamboo stick that he's holding? It was different back then?
It was wrapped in leather? His is not from this era?
Yeah.
Oh. It was made much later.
Good job, Obi.
His hand is going through the sword.
Spike planted. You should run.
Enemy A.
Wingman's on defuse.
My wingman's down.
Last player standing.
Should have had this done by AI.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Here, I'll fix that for you. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, his finger's still going kind of through it. It's
still going through it,
hold
yeah.
on. Hold on, it'll fix itself. That's just something that games do. You can see his thumb through here.
Right.
But it's okay.
It's just the way it is.
That's what games do, okay?
Yeah.
Video games are just that way. Look, okay, it's fine. Look, at some point, it'll be fine. It'll fix itself. Guys, I believe in Ubisoft, okay? They made Star Wars. They have to be legendary.
Oh.
Not like.
They just rushed everything.